And we're live. Welcome, everyone. If you're just joining me today for the first time, let me show you my eyes with a little more clarity. I had everything beautifully set up and then it does what it does, as if it were Mercury retrograde. Welcome to my channel. My name is William Vincent Carlton. We're going to be talking about the Tarot today. There it is. Clarity in time with faith, right? What is faith? Faith is belief that your wishes shall be fulfilled, regardless of time, without lusting for the results. That's true faith. And faith is a form of love. And love believes in the power of delayed gratification at times. Other times, love believes in showering everyone with abundance. The thing is, love exists in everything. It's omnipresent, it's omnipotent, it even exists in those most difficult, challenging situations you may face in your life. So the question then is, how could it be love if it doesn't feel good? Well, you should consider love might get frustrated from time to time. Love might feel rejected. Love might not have any other choice but to leave. Love might not have any place to go. Yet it's everywhere, right? The idea really for love is for it to be embraced, accepted, welcomed with open arms. And if you just can't figure it out, the good news is love is happy to take the burden from you. I had drawn cards for myself today, but to make this as authentic as we can make it, I'm going to draw cards for all of us today. And we're going to talk about the Tarot in perhaps a different way than you normally are used to hearing it. What you may find, the majority of practitioners, this isn't to knock anyone. First of all, to understand the game of man, which is what the Tarot used to be called, and it's not to say, I'm a man, No. It's the game of Manna. You know what Manna is? It also comes from the etymology of mano, or hand, manual. It's the things that we are able to experience through our senses. And from that, we receive this magical experience that's consciousness. Every bit of your consciousness is magic. Don't make any mistake about it. Even if it seems like it's cursed or difficult or challenging, it's all tailored to order. And I'm going to prove it to you before the end of this reading through the Tarot. And that's the beauty of the Tarot. If you approach it with faith, without any expectations, so that your ego self is just on the sidelines, not paying attention, other than being a spectator of something, they have no idea what's going to happen. And if you can get yourself to that point of confidence, which you can do on your very first reading, then you can guarantee you're giving something to your audience that is of value, because it comes from the source of heart, which is in the center of you. I'm just now looking at the camera and seeing how many cat hairs I have on me. This starts with very few in the beginning of the day, and now with it being evening, you can see the accumulation over time. Well, I'm the guardian of 3 cats in this house, and they all shed, and it's in the middle of summer, and it was a hot day, which is to say, don't forget the digits. They're very important. Every single tarot card gives you some form of numerology lesson with it. It's entitled the Tarot because it represents the wheel, rotas. So if you look up Saturn Square, or perhaps Wheel of Fortune, you'll see in the Wheel of Fortune, let's see if I can grab it fast here. It would be a random grab in this deck of cards. You may have to wait for me to sift through 78 of them, but I'll get to the Wheel of Fortune eventually. Let's just say we'll leave it up to the force that's within us that carries out the regenerative principle of who we are. And with that, with faith, we know the Wheel of Fortune shall present itself eventually. And here it is. Okay, you see how that works? Right at the end of my sentence. It's not my sentence, it's the sentence that needed to happen in order for this to be divine timing. And when we're talking about the Wheel of Fortune, we're talking about divine timing. This Sphinx represents balance. You're going to see 2 Sphinxes in the chariot. side by side. And you'll also find elements of the first part of the devil, or the second part of the devil, rather, in this too. If you look, the serpents involved. You see, this represents as above, so below, duality in all things. The Wheel of Fortune can turn in a new way and give you a whole new perspective. And now you can see where the word is. Rota. Okay? That means wheel. Okay? Rota. So take a look at Saturn Square. That's your homework. Discover something about yourself in the process. I'm going to do 3 shuffles today. Actually, I'm going to do 4, and the reason why we're going to do 4 is because today's Mind of Humanity card is Uranus. Let's see what Uranus has to say with number 4. Represents the spiritual aspect of the sun. It's the hidden power that exists in the universe, and it is what unites us all. All is one. Uranus has this unique access to chaos before anything is manifest. So Uranus can move mountains very easily move mountains, can bring clarity to any situation, depending on whether or not you have the ability to let it go. And if you don't have the ability to let it go, what ends up happening is interference. It probably would have cleared. It definitely was going to clear on its own. Though sometimes if you know how to resolve it, why not do it yourself for the sake of avoiding any injuries? Okay, the way I work a shuffle is I break the deck into 2 parts as easy as I can. And I'm still learning how to shuffle, and there are experts that do shuffling videos on YouTube, so you should check them out just like I did. But I tend to hold it like this, the deck like this, and you want to make sure when you're shuffling that you're, why am I talking about shuffling first? If I were to teach you the guitar before we played any notes, I would teach you how to tune it. I want you to become familiar with the instrument. This is the instrument. The instrument's going to serve you, so you must be familiar. All right, so this is basically the way you want to hold the cards close to the table. You can see, all right, 90 degrees, horizontal. You don't want it on angles like this because they're going to flop on each other and it's not going to work. All right? Nice clean shuffle. We're going to do 4 of these. And after the 4, I'm going to draw 8 cards. I'll talk to you more about that in a second, why I'm going to choose 8. It's because we're going to have 1 card on the bottom of the deck that's going to represent our 9th card. And I've been focusing on 9 quite a bit because it's the divine number. It tends to work individually. It is a force. And we're in that force right now with Mars energy. Once again, holding it horizontal. You got to understand. Okay, so when you make a nice bridge on top, they just kind of fall into place. I'll see if I can show you this one. That was the second. I'm going to show you on the third one that return. And the reason why you want to do the return bend is so that the cards are even and they don't bend out of shape. Now with these gold foil cards, you can bend them nearly in half and they won't give you any issues. Got the 9 of Swords here on the third with wish fulfillment. All right. Okay. That one was pretty clear. One more, and then we're going to draw cards for all of us. It's going to be a reading for all of us. Has to be. Can't be for anyone else. All is one. All is one. Okay? All right. Good enough. I'm going to ask that this wisdom serve the highest good of all involved, and that it be provided by my highest good, which is directly connected in this service to all with the universal subconscious mind that is limitless, omnipotent, and omnipresent. Thank you. Let's see what we can get here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. First, there was a card peeking out, so we're going to take a look. 3 of Wands, plus the one on top. I may have shuffled erroneously here. All the cards are going to be right side up. I'm just showing off to you, so I'm not really paying attention to whether the cards were shuffled right. That's okay, though. Okay, so far we have Three of Wands in first position. Second, we have the Five of Coin. Five of Coins. That is not someone being left out in the cold, folks. You hear it all the time. If you don't have a positive message for each and every tarot card in the deck, then you're not doing a proper reading. You need to find a positive to present to the querent. The querent is the person receiving the divination, or else you're doing a disservice and you're actually, in a way, cursing the person. So, if you're speaking positively about each and every card and giving options through each card of something that you can pursue, then you're doing something that is of service to the person receiving the lecture. Okay, let's keep going. We have the Death card coming in, card number 3. This is representing new beginnings. A lot of folks get messed up with this card. They get fearful, thinking it has to do with death itself, like the death of a person. Couldn't be anything further from the truth. And so what this is representing, if you look very carefully in this corner here, you'll see the sun starting to rise in the distance. And if it clarifies, which it is, you'll see that there is a source of water. Anytime you see blue, it's representing the subconscious, the universal subconscious mind, which is infinite in its source. So you see, death is simply renewal. It's the sign of a cycle ending and a new one beginning. And when it happens before the 4th card in this draw, like it is tonight, it's an indication of something that has likely passed for you. It's already happened. Come on now, camera. Come on back and give me some love. Thank you. Let's get the 4th card down. King of Wands. This is a version of you that may not want to be in a position of power that you're currently in, or perhaps you're in a position where others are counting on you. That you didn't expect it, but it's here anyway. So what you find is you're in this position of power not because you elected it, but because others elected you. It's based in fire energy. It's also demonstrating complete control over your sexual energy. So that is different depending on your sex. And I'm going to clarify that specifically because it's important. It's part of the theme for today. I've been practicing hemisync from the Monroe Institute. And if you're wondering what it is, it's binaural beats. It's basically taking two frequencies with a slight variation, put them into your ears through headphones, and it creates a unique effect of a wave form. It sounds like oscillations, but the oscillations are actually created by your brain and not the sound itself, because there is a delay from hemispheres that causes this oscillation. And in doing it, it actually synchronizes the wave forms of the brain so that it works as one cohesive unit. And it's extremely powerful as far as inducing out-of-body experience or tapping into your imaginative self. The way I'm speaking to you now, I will never say, very rarely will I use a verbal pause, because I'm not nervous, nor do I have any fear that I will run out of words or any sort of inspiring statement to speak about when it comes to the cards. Everything presents itself without any issue. It's because I'm connected to source energy. Okay? Each and every one of us has it. The way you connect to it is not by reaching out there and saying, where's the plug for me to plug this in? No, it's within you. It's in your heart. The only distance you need to travel is from here to here. For some, it's the longest, hardest distance they'll ever travel, and sometimes they don't even make it in a lifetime. The way to do it is with love. It's a downhill walk. It should be easy. For many, it's an uphill battle. We think that which is manifest before us controls everything. I have to respond to that, as if these are the factors that control my life. So most of us are going against the current our entire lives, without any awareness that each and every change of our life and each and every manifestation is a result of our own thoughts and feelings that we entertain. And the more we entertain them and the more intensified they are, the faster they materialize and with more accuracy as far as it goes with what you've imagined. If you keep repeating it, it's likely to be manifest very similar to the way you felt it. Now, that's not always the case. You may have something that is quite different than what you've dished out. But if you did it with good and love, you can guarantee it's going to be a pleasant surprise. If you did it with error and evil, you can guarantee it's going to be an unpleasant surprise. That's all I can tell you. Because the force that creates all these things is beyond me, beyond my pay grade, and all of yours too, until the point where we are one, truly, in conscious mind with the subconscious. And since our consciousness has been expanding since the very beginning of life through evolution, and we have proof of this, we do. It's in our DNA. The proof. If the proof weren't enough in our environment, that what we thought turned into our reality, what about the fish that wanted to leave the ocean and walk upon the earth? Left a lot of friends behind. A lot of friends that probably mocked the idea and said, you're just going to die the moment that you're out there. You know you're not going to make it. You know, why don't you just stay here and enjoy life for the rest of us? I think there's something beyond there for all of us. And it may not even be that when I make it there, that it's the last step that we have to take. There might even be many more steps. I just feel like there's a possibility to survive outside of the water. And everyone, oh, you're crazy. You're ridiculous. But there were a few that saw the person survived and believed that they could also live outside the water. So what happens when one person believes that they might be greater than their physical body, that perhaps their reach extended beyond that? What then? What then would come if we intensified that feeling and we kept repeating it, kept feeling it with conviction, as if we were some seed under the earth that's looking to break finally that final superficial surface so that we could receive light? It's like being born for a plant. It's coming out of the womb, being greeted by the light. Each and every one of us as life forms in that chrysalis, in that time of evolution, we all go through a chrysalis transformation, and we come out of the womb, and we're curious to discover our new powers. And in most of those instances, you fly, right? Seems like magic to everyone else when it's second nature to you now. It's part of your evolution. Which is to say, if you want to fly, there's not a damn thing that can stop you. Whether you want to fly astrally or if you want to fly physically, there's nothing that can stop you. If you want to defy the laws of gravity and the laws that have been imposed upon you from physics, there's nothing stopping you. And we know this now through quantum physics. That which you concentrate on and believe with conviction is real, especially if it's in the light of love and service, must be realized. The only thing that pumps the brakes is doubt. So if you're lusting for results and you say, I tried it, didn't work, that's what most folks do with the law of attraction. And so magnetically, they were on their way to attracting something new. And then it's just flip the polarity and forget about it because it doesn't really work. It only works for those who are lucky or born into privilege, right? Say that, and the universe says, are you sure you want that to be your order? Because it's a pretty shitty order, and we got 97% of the earth, all the inhabitants saying the same damn thing, and I just have to fulfill it, because I love you so much. I would never interfere. But you sure you want that to be your order? And so that question of, are you sure? That certainty question is, here's a good day. Experience it. It's beautiful. Now realize you had nothing to do with this other than what thoughts you chose to entertain. And so if you're delivered a good day, you should be grateful, just so the universe knows it's one of those days that you would like to have repeated, and not the other one that was most challenging and difficult. You see, the King of Wands isn't based in intellect. This is based in intuition. It's based in fire. So the things that I'm telling you right now is similar to the knowledge that you would get from the King of Wands, which is in you and serves you now. Each and every one of these cards From the Three of Wands, Five of Coins, the Death card, the King of Wands. They serve you. And the energy is now active within you as I'm going through this. This is what a proper tarot practitioner does. You draw the cards without emotion to it, or without predisposition or bias. You describe the cards and what they represent as far as a feeling, and you say this energy is active in you now. Should you choose to entertain it, it will likely move in an accelerated motion. This is the path that the universal subconscious mind is saying is the most accelerated path for your growth at this point in time in your life. So if you wish, no choice, and you will and feel things, okay? Because you were created in the light of the universal subconscious mind. Therefore, you are divine. Therefore, you are one in spirit, never born, never dying, omnipresent, omnipotent. However, you are living out this earth life system, as Bob Monroe used to say. It's an earth life system where you're in a construct in confinement and you're trying to figure out, how can I give the best possible info and insight to the universe so that it can better understand itself. Imagine if it just doesn't even have consciousness of itself, yet it depends on us to provide it. Now that is purpose. Next card. Yeah, we've got the Six of Wands. This is total, complete victory. This is your victory lap, or you're just coming into town celebrating. You know, let's see if we can get it. There. I forget how folks do this now. There it is. Hello. When I say I forget how folks do it, God does it. I love that. Forget how everyone else does it. Leave it to God. Leave it to that source within you that rebuilds your body. When you put food into your stomach, it builds it into your human self so that it's compatible with you and your journey. That's magic. Anyway, this is your victory right here coming in, and this is very near future. Should you take the path of the King of Wands and serve in the light that the people want you to serve, even though it's not something you ever imagined doing or really wished for, you're doing it anyway for the sake of humanity and service. And here you have another great ally on your side. This Queen of Swords wishes to give you divine intellectual wisdom. Her hand is extending out, which is to say, I could be receiving something right now. I could be giving something right now. I am strong in my intellect. And this is also a great partner energy. Doesn't have to mean it's a male or a female. However, a significant other with a great partnership type of alliance where this person will provide you with great wisdom in your journey. Someone to consider on the path. It's usually a person of wisdom. He or she may present self in that way, in the form of education maybe. Could be, you know. I don't want to get into it too much. You know, it's whatever your intuition, your intuitive feelings tell you. Last card of the draw, what we have? No, two more cards here. Oh, we have the Hanged Man. This is a change of perspective. You'll see, remember once again, the color blue representing the subconscious, which is the universal subconscious mind. It's really pointing downward. You see the activation of this person's aura, and they are actually slightly under the earth as far as access. So it's kind of accessing different dimensions, a new perspective. Number 12 as well is very, very powerful number. You could combine it and say this is a combination of strength, the magician, and the wheel of fortune. And it all has to do with how you manage your thoughts. You'll also see this number 4 with the legs in the inverse position. It's more clear. And anytime you're seeing 4, this is the Emperor's energy. And the Emperor's energy in 4 is powerful. It represents stability. So let's see if we can get some stability in the focus. So when one more time here. Yeah. So when you see the stability here with the number 4, it represents the square or the cube. It's a very, very powerful construct. And then you have 3 here. You have a triangle actually with the top. So let's turn this upside down. This would be actually the inverted way you would look at the Hanged Man. So this would be if you're looking at it upside down. But it's easier to point out where the triangle is formed. Oh, I can do it. I just have to try really carefully. I have to do everything backwards with my finger. Here, this is easier for me. Do. All right, there we go. That's how I'm going to have to do it for now until I have enough sufficient practice. It's all mirror games. This is how Da Vinci used to draw notes to himself. He just was an expert. He practiced. Or maybe he didn't. Maybe he just had it intuitively in him, which is great either way. So the Hanged Man has access to the subconscious as well as the stability from the earth and that number 4 with the Emperor energy. So you're looking at a combination of energy with the Emperor and the High Priestess, one in the mind. And those two combined numbers are 24 or 42, depending on how you want to look at it. And you also have the number 3 in the reduction of 12, because you have 10 plus 1 plus 1, right? In Roman numerals, it gives you 12. 1 plus 2 gives you 3, which is a multiplier energy. Anytime you have 3, it's a multiplier. That's why the Empress has to do with abundance. Also has Jupiter energy in it. The Hangman, this is new perspective, so I'm sure I've given you perspective already with just the description of this card. It's a good time to reflect on that brand new perspective as it comes in at the end of the reading, just before the last card. Let's see what this last one's going to give us. Okay, just to make an adjustment of the camera so that I can draw a card easier. Well, it seems you've overcome an opponent. This is a loss for someone. You see, once again, I shouldn't say that because that's not positive. Sometimes it's good to let go of things when you know it's a battle that you shouldn't. It's a losing battle. You shouldn't bother. It's good to let go and to surrender. And anytime you surrender, you just say, "Listen, this isn't working out the way I had planned. To the highest good within me that I've learned through the perspective of the Hanged Man, I give this up to God." And when I say God, the highest good of who you are, love, truth, all of that has to do with God. Love, truth. And then anything that doesn't have to do with truth has to do with illusion, and that's evil, if you wanted to call it. They're both constructs. The idea of, evil is a construct of the conscious human self with attachments. It has to do with fear. But here, you'll see, with the 5 of swords, you don't have anyone. The guy's not fearful. There's 2 energies present. You have the Empress's tunic, which has to do with you've made a gain, a financial gain. And then you have the Emperor's stability. And you have the individual with 3 swords in hand, even though it's the 5 of swords. So once again, that's the multiplier, and that's the Empress energy. And you see folks that may have had some abundance taken off. They're just giving up. So you've gotten away with something. This is a very easy victory. And it's a stable achievement. So whatever you're doing, hey there, keep the focus. Whatever you're doing it right. What's on the bottom of the deck? Let's see here. Oh, you're going to be happy with this. Got the Ace of Cups. And with the Ace of Cups, you have wish fulfillment, or the ability to make a new wish. See that source? Anytime you're starting with an ace, you have source energy at work. And this is the hidden source of creation. M is the 13th letter in the alphabet. So once again, it's relating to death, which is earlier in the reading. However, this is the infinite regenerative source that you have access to. If you were looking to get into, I just said, that was good. It was a good verbal pause. And I'm going to tell you why I said the verbal pause, It's because it has to do with love. And I'm a Pisces. And when Pisceans deal with love, traditionally, we do it very awkwardly, shyly. So whenever you see a Pisces who's being awkward with you, saying awkward things, doing awkward things, being shy, and avoiding eye contact and avoiding saying anything about how they may be attracted to you, it means they're extremely attracted to you. Just a little tip. Yeah. Anyway, Ace of Cups is an indication that we have love coming in. Here's what I'll say about it. Just in my own life right now, I'm not being celibate. However, if I meet someone and decide that we wish to pursue something romantic, I've decided to retain my essence for 40 days, which means I'm not going to ejaculate. And I know that's personal to say that, though the retention of my semen is to help kickstart the regenerative process of my body. After 40 days, the sperm that isn't being used for procreation will be reabsorbed into my body. In addition to all the other work I'm doing, I'm also fasting. It's a liquid fast. There is some caloric consumption, though minimal. I'm drinking golden milk, which is a combination of a number of Ayurvedic herbs, which are adaptogenic and healthy, especially for men. So I'm going to, in women, it's just different. But there's ashwagandha for increasing testosterone and a bunch of other things to maintain my bone mass while I'm losing weight, because I've been losing weight. So I'll be doing this for the next 35 days. I will be retaining my essence. So if I do have relations, the woman will have to understand way in advance that this will not be the traditional way of pleasure. It will be tantra, and it will not involve ejaculation, at least on my end. And I would appreciate the woman understanding that. And there's a real reason for it. And that reason came this morning with my out-of-body experience. I won't go into it too much because I was told not to. So I was told I could only share this with the Monroe Institute and two others whom I will not mention or name. And it represents a lot of change that's about to come. But I can tell you that's a lot about me. I just wanted to share a little bit with what's going on. The retention of essence is different for men than it is for women. If a man retains his essence and is able to have what's considered the immaculate intercourse with a woman, in which he does not complete or come to completion, then that same regenerative principle that's being absorbed also gets reabsorbed in the woman, which can have anti-aging and age-reversing impacts if done correctly. It can also be destructive to the body, like most of us are with sex. We're destructive. First of all, it's done in an aggressive way for most, without any respect for the partner. It often has to be done in order to heighten the experience so people can get off. It's get off. It's like you're getting off the train. And so we just have been approaching, I'm saying we as humanity have approached sex in the wrong way for the majority of us. We have been not caring enough toward one another. And I'm saying this as a man directed towards women, but it also goes the other way. And it also goes the other way. Women looking at men saying, why can't you just, being frustrated with the process. Lovemaking should never introduce frustration, because that's error. That is evil. That is a mistake. There should never be guilt. There should be complete and total acceptance, regardless of your body. There should never be any judgment about your physical body and what it's made of and how it's made, how it's composed, because this was a gift of God, from God. And you should also never be overly proud of your whatever, if you have a huge member or whatever it is, big breasts, whatever it is that most people focus on. These are things that were given to you by God at the beginning of your life that have nothing to do with your own personal aspirations. They're physical things given to you at birth that we put so much importance into. And there's a certain part of that that has to do with evolution, I would argue, and procreation and picking out the right partner. Most beautiful people tend to have also lots of success and wealth. There's a lot of parallel. It's not all the time, but it's frequent. You know, it's observable. All of this is to say, if you're choosing to be with a partner and you wish to take it to that level of having intercourse, you need to understand this is designed for the creation of life, first and foremost. This life should be created in the immaculate way so that it has the best possible chances of success in the future. And it should be for the continuation of human species. And it should be done in a way to build up love and energy in the way for personal enlightenment. If those areas aren't being covered, then it requires revision as far as I'm concerned for the sake of our evolving consciousness, our expanding consciousness, which is inevitable. That's the reading for today. 9 cards. And just to review with you, we had the Ace of Cups as our portal from this evening coming in, indicating that, here, hold it for a little longer, indicating that we have a new beginning that's exciting emotionally, and it involves love. Access to source energy and the chaos within. Uranus is overseeing this readings. Don't have any fear, just offer it. Let go and let God. Not outside, right here, in everyone. That's what makes us all one. That's the beauty of this. We don't have to look outside of ourselves. We know we all come from the same source, therefore we are one. And that gives you access to your infinite power. Just recognizing it, just acknowledging it, gives you access to this incredible source, which is beautiful. That's why I'm all smiles when I think about it, because if you want it, it's yours now. It probably is already yours. Which, if it is, leave it in the comments if it's yours. If your success and happiness and freedom is yours, leave it in the comments. So we can all celebrate these wins together. We need to celebrate lots of wins. When's the last time we had a real good win? Let's celebrate it. Leave it in the comments. Things are going on in your life. Subscribe and like if you like. Remember, you get what you give in this life. If you subscribe and like, you'll receive it in one form or another. And if you recognize it, say thank you. Say thank you. And remember, it's not you. It was your faith. It was your love that generated it. Here's some protection from the archangels. This is direct from Mexico City. I got this from Mercado Portales. So may you be protected by the archangels. Right there with Michael in the center, okay? San Miguel. Okay, so may you be protected by the archangels. That's just for you. A little gift of love. Ace of Cups out the gates. Followed by, we got the 3 of Wands. Next we have no one being left out in the cold. This is actually your subconscious Emperor energy, once again, that we saw. Where do we see it, folks? See how this links together in the Hanged Man? It's later on in the reading. It's foreshadowing. We didn't know it at the time, but God was giving us some foreshadowing, saying, you're not being left out in the cold. In fact, you're getting new perspective, and this new focus is going to bring blessings into your life. You have no idea. But you do know you need to have exodus, a little change of environment, perhaps. That change of environment, you know, it comes with the ending of a cycle. That ending of the cycle has great new beginnings. Remember, anytime you have fear, just relinquish it. Relinquish shit. Relinquish shit. King of Wands doesn't want to be in his position, but he'll do it for the sake of love and service to humanity. I love the King of Wands. I have a strong connection with the King of Wands. It's fire energy. Mars energy. We're still in that season of Mars, folks. You can't forget it. And so this is your victory coming in with the 6 of Wands. More fire energy coming your way. Very auspicious, this card. It's a celebration, too. You'll be celebrating. And the Queen of Swords is looking on at the procession saying, hey, there's some cool stuff going on here, but what do you say? Why don't you consider this thing that you weren't thinking before? I got your back. I've got strength. I've got friends. So let me help you. And if you give me some love in return, I'd say that would be a nice exchange. And then you say, yeah, of course, the issue. And you say, I only hear what I want to. Right, Lisa Loeb? That was a good song. Is a good song. Here comes the Hangman after the Queen of Swords. You got your new perspective. It's coming in. You're meditating. You're thinking about it. You've got stability with the 4 there, and you've got access to the High Priestess, plus the expansive power and the green that comes from number 3, as 12 reduces numerologically to 3. Okay? So this is beautiful. You'll also see 12 letters in the Hangman, which I love. That's what I really like about it. If you look into this, you'll find a lot more meaning. So everything has a purpose here. Okay? But you got that new perspective coming in, and it leads to a victory that's stable and no issues. You just kind of mowed these people down. And you're joyful because this is the game of life. Everybody chose to play it. You didn't say to them, holding them at gunpoint, saying, listen, you got a 1 in 150 million chance that your sperm is going to make it to the egg, and you got to go now. Well, the universe kind of said that when it said, I'm going to spill my essence. But what if you don't spill your essence? How many sperm come out? Not nearly as many. So you're not destroying that ecosystem within you. And those very powerful, courageous sperm are the ones that make it to the end where the egg is. And that's why it's called Immaculate Conception. Because these are the mountain climbers. This was how my daughter was conceived. A lot of people don't know this. Yeah. 3 weeks of meditation in Joshua Tree. No ejaculation. And first time I had sex with my ex-wife, we got pregnant. No joke. And it was Immaculate Conception with my daughter. And her name is Lumine, which means light. What a reading. Beautiful reading. Stable achievements. Don't worry. Got the protection of the archangels your way. They're here to help you out. You can call upon them at your every need. They exist within you, not outside. Just call upon them. They all have different purposes in helping you. Gabrielle will help you speak with family members. Sadkiel will give you protection. What else we have here? Michael has access to removing barriers, helping you get over obstacles. You can ask for healing. You can ask for knowledge, wisdom. You can ask for whatever it is that is inspiring you at the moment to seek out information. I hope you've enjoyed this reading. If you got something from this, offer me some reciprocal support, please. In some form or another. Reach out. Know that I love you. Know that we are one. Know that our consciousness is expanding every day, more and more. And that if you ever feel overwhelmed, even with the path before you that's been presented, if it just doesn't seem like it's enough, you have permission at any point in time, and this permission comes from you, no one else. You have permission at any time to completely let it go and say, I know I'm not the best at managing this, but there is a source inside me that will cater to my every need and handle it better than I ever could imagine doing it myself or with the greatest team of senior partners. This is the one senior partner. It's the Father that lives within you. Man, woman, doesn't matter who you are, the Father within you is your great protector and your great wise teacher. This is your highest good. And you know who brings forth all of this? The ancient mother, Pachamama, also exists in you. Every man, every woman, you have this beautiful duality and the balance that comes from this between the Heavenly Father within, your highest good, and the ancient mother who manifests everything and represents the great subconscious sea. and the earth, the elements, light. You see, the mother is so important. She is ever receiving and ever fulfilling and never judging. So if you truly wish to embody the mother, that's how you need to look at life. And if you are to embody the father, you need to have discernment and stability with your conscious waking self. So the father sends messages to the mother, and the son receives the delivery based on his wishes. These parents within you only wish for you to be blissfully, happily content with your life. From now until the day you decide to depart on your own volition and will. May all your wishes be fulfilled. Blessings to you, and thank you for listening this evening. Be well. And if you have any questions about what I said today, please leave a comment. And I hope that this has been helpful, at least in your beginnings with approaching the tarot, maybe in a new way, which has to do with finding the positivity in each card and never talking about things in the light of error or evil, for the sake of the karma that it creates, for you shall have to burn that karma yourself. So avoid it altogether, and think good, be good, live well,